The today's topic we are going to discuss is what is generative AI and what is its difference between generative AI and traditional AI. What are the different uh, applications of traditional AI and what is the different applications of generative AI and how it differs from uh, traditional ML models or data science models with generative AI. So why we are learning this generative AI newly. So before that, a
Uh,
brief
uh,
introduction.
Rahul, your voice is very low. Can you please speak a little bit loud?
Yeah, can you hear me now properly? Is it fine now? What I'm talking?
Yeah, it's a bit better.
Okay. The introduction about myself is a short introduction about myself is like my name is Rahul, and I have completed my master's in AI, AI engineering, and currently working as lead data scientist in an MSc. And I have the experience in data engineering also, data engineering plus data analysis, and uh, those part of the data science I do have the experience on previously. And me with my team, we have developed in this company nearly 30 plus traditional plus generative AI projects like internal search engines, chatbots, that kind of, and so yearly forecasting for the company. So we have developed nearly 30 plus this kind of models, traditional plus generative AI models in this company. This is just a bit introduction about myself, and what is the content? In today's topic, in today's topic is like what is the understanding about traditional AIs, and understanding about the generative AIs, and what is the key differences between generative AI and traditional AI, and applications of what are the different kind of applications in generative AI and traditional AI. Small applications I have, so I took some examples. So based on that, we will discuss what is the difference between this traditional and the generative AIs. The understanding about the traditional AI. So the traditional AIs, so which are like machine learning models or data science models, those are like task oriented. So task oriented means like, for example, if you are predicting the sales for a company, right? So the task is to predict what is the sale for the next month for a product. So it is a task oriented. So that means you are feeding some kind of data, uh, some uh, some monthly data or the data about the product, and based on that, you are going to predict what is the sale for the next month, or you are going to see you are classifying whether there will be sale or not for a product for the next month, whether there will be sale or not. So that is one kind of task oriented. So what is the data driven? So data driven means to generate this kind of sales forecasting or like a classification and all. You need some kind of data. So you need to feed in some data. Like for example, if any water bottle is there, you want to sell the water bottle, and you need to give what is the previous month sales, and what is the product details also. Based on that, you are going to predict what is the sales for the next month. So you need a specific kind of data has to be fed into the model, so that model will train on that model, sorry, train on the data, and it will give the next month sales for the product. So it's a data driven and supervised learning. So I have explained you, right? Supervised learning means, so you need to feed in a specific kind of data. That means previously, this is the kind of sales are there, and based on that, these are the sales. For example, you are predicting for October, you have up to the data for say September. So it is like a label data. So you will have the label like for the September, these are the sales. So based on that, you are training your model, and based on that, you are scoring like what will be the sales for October. So this is like a supervised learning. So that means you are supervising uh, based on already available data, and then you are asking the model what will be the sales for the next month. So this is completely, you will have the data, and based on that you are training the model. Based on, it is a task oriented, and it is a supervised learning. So what are the examples of traditional AI? So the examples of traditional AI is like email filtering. So whether there will be a spam or not, is it a good email or spam email, right? Every day we are seeing like what is the spam or what is the not spam, right? So that is the best example of traditional AI. So based on the content that is reading, based on all the info about that one, it is going to differ like whether it's a spam or not. So I have explained an example, right? Future sales for a company. So that is one best example of traditional AI. And object classification. For example, you want to differ whether it's a cat or dog, right? So you need to feed in the images of cats and dogs, and you need to, for example, you have a cat image, and your label will be like it's a cat. You have some dog's image, and you have to label it like dog. So based on already available data, you are training the model, and then you are scoring. That means you are asking the model with a new image, like whether it is a cat or dog. So this is a classification model. You are classifying whether it is a cat or dog. So this is also an example of a traditional AI model, machine learning model. And spam detection, whether there will be a spam or not. This is also classification. So and sales prediction, like for the next month, or next year, next day, what will be the sales. So that is also a traditional AI model. So you will have a set of data, a predefined set of data, and based on that, you want to predict the future sales or the future of that particular product. So that is a best example of a traditional AI. Or like object detection. For example, in your traffic lights, so the traffic line, so you want to detect uh, car number or something like. So those are like traditional object detections and all. So the next thing is like, what is the generative AI? So okay, we understand about traditional AI and all. What are the applications of traditional AI? So what is generative AI? So generative AI is something like you are asking a question and you are getting an answer like in a generative way. So you are not feeding any data. So not feeding in a sense, that in a sense like it is generating a new content. It is not like you are feeding. So it is not like a task oriented. That means you are feeding the model with already available data and asking like what is the next one says. It is not a task oriented. It is like you are you are asking something and you are defining what you are asking, what's your question about, and you are getting the response. So it is not like you have pre-trained that model previously, but you are getting new content, newly available content from that. So where what is the characteristic of the generative AI? So it is we are using for content creation, that is newly required content. For example, if you are asking about uh, generative AI about the generative AI in the model, it is going to create a new content for you. And if another person asking, it is asking based on his requirement, it is creating a different content for that person. So, for example, if you ask the model like you should act like a, comedian, and you need to give me a story about two friends. So it will assume like it is a comedian and it's going to give you a content, right? And if you're asking like you are a serious person, I need to give me a conversation between two friends. So it will assume like he is a serious person, and it's going to give the content, so conversation between two friends. So the content is same, like conversation between two friends is same, but based on your instructions to the model, it is going to give the different kind of content based on the instructions. So that is the content creation we are using. It is unsupervised learning. That means you are not so you are not predefining any data. you're not giving any data to the model. Okay, so you're not defining anything like what is the so what is the conversation that previously happened between two friends, and you were asking like, okay, generate a new content. It's not something like that. You are just based on whatever the model was trained on, completely different kind of data. You are asking to generate a new content. So the models are going to create new content for you, which is not seen by any other previously, and so that's why we're calling it as unsupervised learning. Okay, so what are the examples of this generative AI? So the examples of generative AI is like, everybody know about the chat GPT, right? So the chat GPT is the best example of this generative AI. So you're asking a question, and it is going to give you excellent. It is going to give you the respective answer about that questions. And text to image generation. So text to image generation, right? Like DALI or RunML. So these kind of applications generate uh, different kind of images based on the text input you are giving. So this is like, you have never seen that kind of images previously based on your text. You have never trained your model based on so that kind of images, but they are creating those images which are very new based on your text. So this is why we are saying like this is generative things. And we have text to audio also. Like you are asking like, you're asking the model, where you are giving text input like you have to use this kind of instruments, this kind of audio like pop or something, and it will generate a new completely new audio with a new voice. uh, so if you have time, you can go to the suno.ai, so you will understand like how beautiful this one is, suno.ai. So I will, in the next slide, I will explain you by taking one example. Here for the chart generation, I will use perplexity ai. For image generation, I will use Flux, and for the audio, we will use Suno. And I will give you an example like what is actually the generative AI is, right? And so this is the key difference between generative AI and the traditional AI. So what I have explained previously, those are like a table format. The purpose is analyzing and classifying existing data, right? Like classifying whether it's a cat or dog, classifying whether there will be a sale or not in a company, uh, kind of thing. But in generative AI, you are creating completely new content, which is not seen by others in previous things. Uh, it is a supervised learning, right? So that means you're supervising by giving already existing data. But in generative AI, you're not supervising, so you're not giving any previously existing data. You're just asking a question, you're getting a response. That's it. So the traditional AI output is like predictive output, right? So like, whether it's a cat or dog, whether it's a classification, whether it's spam or not for a spam detection, whether it will be a sale or not for sales classification. Uh, but in generative AI, you are getting text output or images, right? Or a song or a video. It is completely new output. Examples I have already given. Right? So data dependency is like it relies on labeled data set. Like, right, you need to feed the model with already existing data, labeled data. Like previously you have some content, right? For up to September, what are the sales? So in the September month, this is the sales for the product. So it is a labeled one for the September sales. You are predicting for October, so you need to train up to September data as label one, and you are going to score for the October. So you need to give the label data, but the generative AI, you have no need to give any label data. So you're just going to ask a question, and it is going to give you a response. So this, I'm just giving an example in generative AI so that for the better understanding right now for this moment. But they are completely different uh, applications. So when you are using any APIs, they will be different. So how to use them in a company level, in a a production level projects. So how to use them as an APIs, that kind of information. So we will discuss about that in future. But just for understanding about these already existing traditional AI models and generative AI models. So these are the examples I took. So we will discuss in future how to use them as an APIs in a company, and so how to fetch, how to get the output from that, and uh, so use another AI model to get the better next response. So it's like a chain. We are going to discuss all these things like agents, RAG models, and all in future. So this is the just introduction about it. So this is like just so this is the difference between generative AI and traditional AI models. So we will go and talk about OpenAI, right? So we discussed about the generative AIs and all, what are the different generative AI models are there. So we will take an example of um, one of the generative AI model, and we will see what actually it is going to generate, right? So LLM. So I think everyone knows about OpenAI. So what OpenAI is a generative AI company which have multiple products like ChatGPT, DALI. So that kind of different kind of models are there, and so it is like an LLMs, large language models. So we will discuss about what are those in next slides. So these are the content. What is OpenAI, and understanding about LLMs, and examples of OpenAIs, and so impact of OpenAI and LLMs in future slides. So what is OpenAI? So OpenAI was started in 2000, so established in 2015 as in a research organization. So it's like they have completely different products, but we mostly know about them because of the ChatGPT. It made a revolution, right? So it is a the initial focus is on like artificial general intelligence, and so how it is going to use, how it will benefit for the humanity. So and so this is the a bit introduction about the OpenAI, but I'm going to give you an example using different chart model. Perplexity AI, it is like a Google one. Yeah, we will discuss about that. So it is so completely developed on NLP, natural language processing, and also different kind of LLMs. And it have multiple products like Chat GPT or GPT models, and DALI and Codex. So these are the right now available products. And there is a so Sora is also there, but it's not yet released. And so how the day to day impact of this OpenAI is like, for example, if you want to generate some agents or RAG models, so there you are using these OpenAI APIs. So mostly as a developers, we are completely using in as in APIs. But right now I'm not including this here to avoid confusion. But uh, while developing a production level models, you are going to use as APIs. You have the lang chains, hugging face, llama index. There are multiple different kind of engines are there. So there you are going to use an API. We will discuss about that in future modules. So what is LLMs? So LLMs are large language models which are developed based on deep learning, and it is like it was trained with a different kind of data, and so it is like you are feeding with a large number of data content, and based on different kind of parameters you will have different kind of performance of the LLMs. uh, so LLMs are uh, so it is going to give human like text output. You are going to ask in any way to the LLMs, it is going to generate a human understanding AI content it is going to give. And they are trained on vast amount of data already available, documents or text conversations, chart conversations, or like images. So they have trained on a vast amount of data, and they have billions of parameters. If you come across with llama, that kind of models, you might have heard about 8 billions or 70 billions or 13 billions, right? These are the parameters. So these are the weight parameters which are we have in deep learning, like forward propagation and backward propagation. So these are weight, different kind of weights they are giving, and based on that, these models will be developed. So that kind of billions of parameters they have, it is not like a simple models. They have vast amount of parameters are there, so that's why they are performing that accurate.
Okay. Rahul,
Yeah,
I have two questions. I don't know if you are waiting for that. So I can go for the question.
yeah.
Okay. So what is the prerequisites for this program? That is one. And what type of tool will you be using? That is two. And can we talk about like a job or related, like a better position we can get from this training? And also about the lab, do we going to do some lab? How many lab? We're going to provide the documentation. Thank you.
Yeah. So yeah, in this session, in this demo session, we are not using any demo, but for your uh, for your for your first question, right? So I hope that your first question is like whether we are going to use any. Can you repeat the first question?
What are the prerequisites? Uh, do we need to know Python, some tool before starting this program, or
Yeah.
what is
So
required?
yeah. So Python is a good added advantage having the knowledge on. So but it's not like entirely you have to familiar with Python. So your basic knowledge is sufficient, but yeah, you should know about a bit about Python language, and you have no need to know anything about LLMs and all, right? These are already available models are there, and you have to know how to use them. I will teach you how to use them in future. So there will be a lab session will be there, and I will give you with examples. So for example, if OpenAI is there, how you are going to uh, use those OpenAI model in your coding. So I will explain you with the code examples. So for example, right now the next session will be, for example, RAG is there. I will explain you like what is a RAG first, in a uh, contextual way. I will explain you what is a RAG is, and then I will explain you how to build that by using Python coding, and I will explain you how the RAG model is going to perform by running it in a live session, and I will give you examples of that. So the prerequisite is like you need to know basics about Python, not like a deep Python coding, because I will also let you know how to cheat that. Right? Let me give you an example. A cheat that means like, uh, for example, uh, you need to know something about how to develop. Like for example, this is the Perplexity AI. Sorry, it's a uh, cloud one. This is the Perplexity AI. You don't know anything about Python language, but you want to use it. So how to use already available existing generative AI models, right? Give me some Python code to generate.
Rahul, are you sharing something? We are able to see only the screen.
Okay, you can't say anything. Okay, let me.
We are able to
Uh,
see
We
only
can
the
see the
chat screen. Chat
PowerPoint
screen.
presentation.
Okay, let me reshare again.
So we can
Okay,
see the screen. Thank you.
just a second. Just sharing.
Yeah.
Let me know if you can see the screen. Okay.
Yeah, now
yes.
we are.
Yeah, we can see. Good morning, Banu. Yeah.
Okay. So if you see, this is the cloud. This is one kind of generative AI model, right? And this is the perplexity AI. This is one kind of generative AI. Just like your chat GPT. Uh, so you don't know anything about Python. You are learning, but you want to create a production level models, and you want to create a complete project out of it. But you don't know about Python completely, but you know the basics. So you will ask, you will use already available generative AI models and get the code, and you can integrate and you can solve your problem. Right? So give me some Python code to generate. Uh, so some pyramid of ones, pyramids of ones, right? Because this is completely, it is a huge. So like you need to code much and you need to brainstorm. But if you see here, it is going to give you the function, right?
Okay.
So
So this is
Rahul,
just an example.
Rahul,
Yeah.
I just want to know one thing. So, as a developer, software developer,
Mhm.
so do you teach how to give the prompts? Because sometimes if you are giving wrong prompts, so then it will give wrong output, right?
I will teach you.
So,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
In
go on.
future sessions, I will teach you how to give user prompts. There are different kind of prompts: user prompts, system prompts, and AI. So AI is something that you are going to get. But I will teach you exactly what is a system prompt is. So system is like you are defining the system how to act. Like give you an example, right? You have to act like a comedian. You have to act like a storyteller. You have to act like a Python code expert. So I will teach you how to give the system prompt, and I will teach you how to give the user prompt. And if you are giving the wrong prompt, how you are going to get different kind of uh, output, and how to set that kind of prompts in future sessions. Okay.
And one more thing, for everything we are using Chat GPT only, but
Yeah.
right now you are showing some another AI tool to generate the Python code. So how do we
Yeah.
know which AI tool is used for which purpose, and how many AI tools are there in the market for a specific for Java? This is the platform for Python code. So there will be some separate AI tool for Java if you want to develop need some Java code. So same way for each language or for each purpose there will be separate thing, right? How do we know that one?
So you will have the benchmarking is there currently. So I do have that one, but I don't know where I saved it. But I do have the benchmarking. For example, for specific task, which kind of model you want to use. So I have a kind of document is there, but I don't know where I saved it. I will share you in this chart. You can go through that. Uh, there is a website which is developing completely focusing on this benchmarking. For example, if any Python coding is there, which model is better one, which generative AI models are better one, whether it's a Perplexity, whether it's Claude, whether it's a OpenAI, ChatGPT. So which one is better? And for the conversation kind of thing, which one is better? There is a different website is there, which is developed based on the user interactions, based on the developers. For example, I am a developer. I can go and give the rating. It will give it will ask you to try an example, and based on that example, it will give you some response, and based on that response, you have to upload and download for models. So it is a completely a different website is there. I will share you that website. You can go and see there for which kind of models, which is the better one. You can completely go there and see that. I I just need to check that where I save it, but I will share you that in this channel. And that's
Okay,
a good
sure.
question.
Thank you, Rahul. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I will share it. That's a good question. I gave a complete 1 hour session on that. So for which kind of task, which model we have to use. So there is a one kind of 1 hour PPT also there for with me, but it will confuse you more. But I will give you a website link. You can go to that web link and you can uh, search for that. So which one you want to uh, you want to search, you want to use, kind of thing. That is one question. So, did I miss any another question? Like, I see like you are also asking like why you are using different things, right? So people uh, misunderstand like there is only OpenAI or ChatGPT is there for this kind of generative AI models, but there are a vast amount of models are there. Llama is open source one. So I just want you to know what what are all different kind of LLMs are there, and what why they are completely different, and why people are using different models. So thanks for asking that question. And so you have uh, Llama is there. Llama is open source one, right? And ChatGPT or OpenAI, these are not open source. You need to pay for what you are going to use, right? You should need a OpenAI key, and for that you need to pay some amount and you need to get it, right? So I will teach you how to use OpenAIs, how to use Hugging Face, how to use Llama Index, everything, and so that you can understand which kind of models you need to use. And people may think like, okay, runway ML is something, or like uh, something to generate images from text. So you need to pay something for that. See this one here, right? It is going to generate completely uh, better results, even compared to already available paid applications, right? Let me give you an example. See this. Let me explain. Right? If you see the text, Narendra Modi and Martin Luther King sitting side by side, it never happened, right? But it's going to generate clearly with the same faces, right? So people think like there are only those kind of models like Runway ML or something, which are uh, which are famous, and only those kind of models exist in market. But no, there are open source. This is the free one, and this is the Hugging Face space. You can generate it on your own. So this is something I generated, and I can show you. So the same way I'm going to teach you how to generate this kind of pages, right? This is a code is there. I will show you how to use this code and generate your own space or your own uh, web page, so that you can use in your daily uh, life, right? So this is completely free, but people mostly think like, okay, you need to go and purchase some product, but no. So there are a vast amount of models are there, and I will teach you how to utilize them. See, a vast amount of models are there. You see here, right? Blackboard Flux. This is the one I'm using right now. So there are, so image, so text to text, like video classification, text to video. So you should know how to use them. Yeah, in coming sessions, I'm going to teach you all of those things. Yeah. So do you have any questions? Yes.
So these are the predefined models, right?
Yes. Yes.
So can we create our own model? Are you going to
We can
teach
create
that?
our own. Yes. We are going to teach like how to fine tune, and we are going to teach how to use
And
already existing one, how to
so
integrate one model to another model.
okay, so what are the basic the technology we required for this one? We
You
don't.
need to
I don't have
know.
basically anything other
You need
other than I understand the Java. That's it. So is that enough
so
or like
you
sorry,
need to
please.
know about at least the basics of Python, right? We are going to code everything in see you see here, right? uh, app.py.
Now,
I'm going to teach you how.
if you want to
You
develop our own model, or
Yeah,
from the scratch, from
yeah,
maybe company might be required. Don't look at the existing models. We want to generate our own model. Can we do
yeah.
that?
So yeah, we can do that. We need to do that. So it's not like already available model. It won't fit for your data, right? For example, if
Right.
my company is working on sales data,
Mm.
it never useful for already existing models which are available in the searching phase. But you can utilize a model and you can tune that model with your data and you can utilize that in your company,
Okay,
right? That
basically
is
we can use
what,
as a template or like reference. Okay.
yeah, like a wrapper. You can develop that and you can utilize in your uh,
So yeah,
company or
if you don't mind, can you explain the basic architecture how it works? This entire AI or generative AI?
uh, so architecture in the sense like it is a huge one. We
No,
will
just
discuss
simple
about
like
that.
something like MVC pattern we have, right? The client server architecture or something like how it works basically.
Uh, so the thing is like how it is going to work. So for example, you will have some, uh, for example, let me take an example of some documents are there. I'm going to give you a live example what we developed previously. Okay, you have some document
Hmm.
about some documentation about your project, right? They have so much of content is there, and you need to ask like, for example, if LLM is there, and you have defined some what is LLM, large language model. But a new person who is searching for LLM, he don't know anything about it, and he has to ask like, what is LLM? So the model has to reply like LLM means large language model. It has to reply something like that. So for that, you need to develop a RAG model. So RAG model means retrieval augment generation, right? So you need to convert the document data into a embeddings, right? Embedding means like vector form, which model understands, and you are going to feed that data into the OpenAI model or any model that is existing. So the prerequisite for that model to understand is like you need to convert whatever the data you have with you as a vector form. So based on that, it is going to understand what is your content, and it is so you are going to ask a question again. It is going to convert it into a vector, and it is going to give the output as a vector form. That vector form you have to convert again back to the readable form, and that will become the output. So this is the architecture in middle. So I just gave you a simple one to not confuse
So
all the
this
people who
this
are.
all happen on the fly, or it will store the data once they read the document and store the data in the database and uh,
Yes,
how it works.
we have the
Yeah.
we have the vector databases. We have the Chroma DB. We have some Llama index vector indexes are there. We have this FISS is there. So different kind of databases are there based on your requirements. For example,
Okay.
uh, yeah. So you can save these vectors in a vector database like Chroma DB or something, and you can instead of doing all these things on the fly every time, you can go and fetch from the vector databases.
You mean
Okay.
ChromaDB all are in-memory databases, right, Rahul?
Yeah, yeah. So you have, for example, in Llama index, you have the vector index is there. You can save all these vectors that is being generated by our model. You can completely push the data into uh, like Azure database, right? Or some AWS S3 bucket. So you don't need to store in your local. You can completely every time you are generating, get pushed to the Azure blobs or AWS S3 paths. So yeah, those all those things are in memory computation they will do. But whatever the vectors they are generated, you can save in blobs, and every time you can talk with those blobs and give the response. Okay. So that is a very interesting one. That is a very complex one. I will teach you. It is a long session, not a one day session also. Uh, so uh, I just to not confuse you people, I just giving a brief introduction about that. But it is a very interesting one. That is a uh, important topic in our future sessions.
Yeah, yeah.
How
Can you
we are
can you
going to,
share can you please share your content? What is the course content or what are you going to cover?
yeah, I will share in this chat. Sure.
Rahul, for this one, right? Do we need to install anything in our system, in our laptops? Is there a prerequisite? Do we need to install any tools, or are we going to use all the only online available tools?
Yeah. I will teach you based on online available tools. Uh,
Okay.
do you know about Google Colab?
No. Google
Yeah.
Colab. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Google Colab you can have the GPU machines also,
Okay.
right? So I will teach you how to use a Google Colab,
Okay.
and you don't need any high-end laptop also.
Okay.
Okay, if
Got
you
it. Got
are interested in that. But for me, I will teach you in my own IDEs with some visual VS Code or something. But I will teach you how to use the Google Colab also, so that you can get some 16 GB RAM of GPU RAM is also there, and CPU RAM also there. I will teach you how to use it. You have to need any laptop also. You can do it in your mobile also.
it. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
Rahul, I have one more question, sir.
Rahul,
Go ahead, Nishat.
yeah, so actually, I want to know that we can create our own model LLM, but suppose I am using the banking data and analyzing that, so it is gonna to expose outside that institutions, correct? So I don't want
Yeah.
to expose that on open source. I want to create my own LLM. Is it possible? The second thing, uh, I am performing, suppose, 10 to 15 sets of activities on my data. Whether we can do the automation using this generative AI code, or the what level of Python we should aware, because I'm seeing that you are reporting so many libraries here. So until unless the guys are not aware about that Python code, it is very difficult to write and cope up with that all the code.
Yeah. So for coming to your first question, right? So, can we create our own LLMs? Yes, we can create our own
So
LLMs.
suppose I am creating my own model and I am feeding a data whatever available with me, because I want to perform some operation on it. So that data will store somewhere, correct? And I don't want to share that data with everyone.
Yes. So, for that, there is like you need to sacrifice something if you want to get something, right? For example, if you're using an OpenAI model, yes, you have to connect with the OpenAI server, and you have to feed in the data, and you have to develop your own models. So no, in your case, you don't want to feed your own data to the model, but you want to develop LLM model. That's an example of Llama. So Llama is like you need to download that model in your local machine, and you can develop. So the same way how you're using OpenAI, you can use the same of Llama. That means your model is sitting in
Okay,
your
so
machine,
offline we
and
can use.
yeah, yes. You are only so there is no online in your machine. The model will be there, and you are using that model. That's it. But for that, your system has to support that kind of models. For example, Llama 70 billion model is there. It is like so many GBs of data it requires, and you are reading that model into your memory. That means you should need a huge memory. You need a CPU. You need a GPU, not a CPU. So that is kind of sacrifices you have to make. So you need your own servers. You need your own GPUs. You need your own high-end laptops to use that. So there is some sacrifice you need to do. Uh, but yes, you can do it.
Yeah, and
And
what
those
level of Python we should understand actually. See,
so
understanding that Python code is more required because we are using so many library, okay,
yeah,
Torch or
so
NimKey and
definitely.
all. So
So yeah, definitely. If you are if you are looking for a developer role, right, in generative
yeah,
AI, you need to know basics about Python. So it is must. So because these API, uh, okay. So these APIs, right? You need to know how to integrate that in your code, right? For example, if any you are going to read some document what you have with you, and you are converting that into LLM, right? You have some RAG model. You need to know how to read that file. Some PDF file is there. You need to know how to read that file, right? It is basics about Python. You only need to
Yeah,
uh, you only need to know everything about reading that because it is already available. See, right? If you are going to ask any openly available LLM models, they are going to give you output like, for example, uh, give me code to PDF file. Give me Python.
It will automatically generate all the variables.
Everything, including the input also,
So the parameters
right?
basically in the document, PDF document, there might be a table, image, all included one PDF document. It will take
Exactly.
all.
So yeah, exactly. So that you need to explain to that model. So it doesn't know what your PDF file is, right? So I have a PDF file, so file with some images and text. I need to read all the content. Give me right. Uh, it is going so based on your instructions, it is going to give all the content you are going to. So it is completely based on your instructions or you are going to ask, right? So this code is different with the previous code. So previous code is just like a 5 to 10 lines, right? Right now, see how many lines of code is there. So you need to clearly,
one
yeah.
one more thing, Rahul. Actually, uh, we required any knowledge of AI for that learn the generative AI.
No, we have no need of any AI knowledge for that. But you need, but
Not
whatever I
required.
explained, right, not required. Yes, for the generative AI role, you have no need of AI uh, knowledge. But
Yeah,
having an
and
understanding is
one more
always a plus
thing,
point, right?
how this is useful for the developer, architecture, and architect and the data analyst.
So, for example, you have some CSV data, is there, right? So, like, as you have mentioned, like analyst. So, you need to know the insights about the CSV file. Like, you want to question and answer kind of thing, right? So, as an
Correct.
analyst, you want,
Correct.
right? That one also we have
Yeah.
done a project also on that CSV files. So, you can ask a question like, what are the 2017 sales for a product? It will give you an answer, exact answer. For that, we are going to generate some agents, right? So
Agents.
that kind of analysis of agents is. So that kind of analysis also we can do. So we can do everything.
Mm,
I'm not saying like 100%, but 90% or 80% of work you can do with generative AI models. You can talk with CSVs, you can talk with the tables, you can talk with the PDF files, Word documents. There are a different kind of way you need to follow, but eventually you are going to get the solution out of it.
Rahul, I have a
yeah,
question
so
here. Yes, Nishant, you can carry on.
yeah, so Rahul, are you gonna to give some knowledge on Python, how to install and some basic thing will you teach in this session? Not in this session, in this course.
Yeah, so I will teach you how to install and everything, how to use it, and on the fly when I'm explaining the code. So how to, so what is that code about? Uh, yeah, I will explain that, but not complete Python. So it is like something you should learn a bit of basics online. So, but yeah, I will teach you how to install all the Python and how to use that, how to install Python packages every time when we are required. So I will teach you that, but not entire Python. Okay, so that is
Rahul,
completely
one
different from.
quick question, Rahul. I need to go. Uh, so, what kind of scenario, business scenario, is going you're going to cover in this entire uh,
So the
any
business
business?
scenario, yeah, I have plan of so taking a sample CSV file and how to talk with it, just like an analyst, and so creating a RAG models, like you have multiple number of PDF files here, or like any documents are there, how to talk with those documents. And last, the final project we are going to create is like a search engine. So local search engine, how it would be like, and when you are searching for any, like a Google, right? Like for example, any uh, what is LLM? It is going to give some search paths for that. You can go and fetch that path. So the final product will be like a search engine, a huge search engine. But yeah, that is the final one.
So basically,
Rahul, my
you are not going to cover any particular business scenarios, for example, sales side or finance side or supply chain side or something like that.
Yeah, so the CSV example I have mentioned like this. So that is sales data I'm going to show you, and I will show you like how to talk with the sales data, like
uh,
how to create a model out of that files, and how to talk that, how to get the answers from that. So that is what kind of project we are going to build.
Rahul, I have a question here. When we are talking about OpenAI or Claude or anything, they will say this is the token size. What is
Yes.
meant by token size? That is one thing. On day-to-day activities, how you are sharing the data? Let us say, are you giving generative data, or else like are you using some open source data or something on that? And the third one is like let us say like if, as you said, Open API is a means like it's not a full open source. If you want to consume, are you giving any kind of API keys or something that on day-to-day basis? Are you giving us a API key for our demo sessions?
Uh, so particularly for me, I don't share any OPA API key. So we need to talk with. So let me talk with people and let you know. On top of that, so I don't have so any OpenAI API keys as of now with me. I have my own OpenAI API key, personal one. But for the project purpose, if there are any OpenAI API keys, I need to check with the team, and I will let you know that. Uh, yeah, so I will let you know. So the tokens is like, for example, if you have any OpenAI API is there, right? So it converts every text into tokens. Token is the least amount of word that it can be split into, right? So that is the number of, so whatever the question you are asking, it will convert into tokens, unique words. It is going to generate. It's simple to say. So they will have the limitation, right? So whatever the question you are going to ask, if they have the limitation, only that many number of tokens will be feed into the model. And if, for example, if the OpenAI have some 1056 token limit, you will get the response for up to that number of tokens only. So that means up to that many number of sentences of output you are going to get. If
Okay,
you want more number of, so if you want more, you need to pay more. So based on these tokens, you are going to get your bill, right? For a token, for
okay,
example, $0.0015 is there, right? For a
okay,
single token. If you are generating 1,000 tokens, 1,000 into that. If you want to get a million of tokens, a million of that into 0.00015 dollars. So that
Okay.
it is a billing for you, right?
Okay.
So the
My question,
second question, yeah,
the same question I have. Let us say like I was using the same question multiple times. Is there is any way that I can optimize? Uh, See, let us say like I was asking like generate the same code that I was. Let us say in Cloud AI, you have written the same code. Generate a Python code to read a PDF that has images and uh, tables. If I have the same question, if I want to use multiple times the uh, uh, same question, right? If I use the same question multiple times, I don't want to hit my API or something. Is there is any way that I can reduce my load or the token size so that my billing will come down?
yeah, it is there. Max tokens or max length, that kind of parameter is there in API. If you limit that to 20, you will get the only 20 tokens limit. If you limit that 300, you will get the 300. So it is like there is a parameter is there, max underscore length. If you are giving that as a parameter your requirement, it will give you that response one.
Okay.
So
So,
is
and
it chargeable when we are sending any request to it?
Yes, you are sending a request to it if you are using OpenAI.
It's
see,
a
my question
chargeable.
is, yeah, my question is like, Rahul, let us say that I was using the same question multiple times. But as I was using the same question multiple times, I don't want to hit a chat GPT or something. Uh, I can use something like something cache mechanism or something to overcome my billing, to reduce my billing. Is there is a way that we can do it there?
It is there, but it's not like already predefined one. We will issue, so that is like very like deep into it. But yeah, so as you ask the question, we will also discuss about that in future sessions. It is there, but it's not
Okay.
like completely available in the model as a parameter. We need to
Oh,
declare something. We will discuss that, but not start. We'll confuse everyone. We will discuss
yeah.
about that at the end when
So
knowledge.
Rahul, we need
Hi,
to
hi
provide
Rahul.
any like our payment detail to do that whatever the charge is applicable here,
Sorry. What's the
because
question?
it's a chargeable when we are sending any request, it is chargeable. So we need to provide, like suppose we are learning, so we need to provide some payment details
Yes.
to
So
subscribe it.
if you are using OpenAI, I have mentioned right. If you are using any OpenAI, it is chargeable. If you are using any cloud, it is chargeable. If you are using any Perplexity, it is chargeable. If you are using Llama, it is not chargeable. If you are using uh, any model from Hugging Face, it is not chargeable. It is open source.
So Lava is
You need to
on-premise.
Llama. Llama is something you need to install in your system.
On-premise, we can download and put it our company Polo.
Yes,
Okay.
you can do that.
Hi Rahul, I have a question. Uh, Rahul, can you able to hear me?
Yeah. Please go on.
Yeah. So I have been trying to generate unit test cases for Java code.
Okay,
So I am just
okay,
sending the source code to one of the model, right? So
yeah,
it is trying to generate if that source code is not dependent on any other files. For example, if I have a.java, if it is importing other b.java, c.java means I need to send those files also along with source code as a context to generate a proper unit test. Otherwise, it
okay,
is hallucinating. Since it is not aware of b.java, c.java, I need
yes,
to send these files as a context, but there will be some interdependencies, right? Sometimes b dot java might depend on importing or extending on other source files. At this time I am facing limitations, so I need to send the entire code base as a context to AI to generate a proper unit test. So this might
yeah,
increase the token size, right? So
yes, definitely.
is there any way, just I need to send the source code, and is there any RAG implementation which will analyze based on the source code? Okay, these are the files necessary for as a context. I need to send it to this LLM instead of sending the entire code base. Is there a way to do that, Rahul?
Yeah, it is there, and it is a very fascinating question. It is a new thing, new question, but yeah, it's a great understanding about the RAG
Uh,
model. That is that, yeah, that can be done. So that can be done. I
okay.
have never tried that, but it is a very fascinating question.
Yeah.
I
So
will I
if
will
it is
definitely try that.
straightforward, right, using the Python code, so if I have added Java, there will be some import statements. By using the Python code, I can go ahead and fetch that source codes. So whatever that dependent importing or extending source codes, I can fetch it out. But
Yes.
if it is an interdependency, right, then I need to go and search for entire source code base. So what we are trying to do, if we send the entire source code base itself, it is going to work, but it is going to increase the token size, right? So that's why
That's
and
true.
sometimes if we also send the entire source code, it is sometimes hallucinating also because it has to go through the entire code base to generate it. That's why I'm looking for a solution where by just reading the source code, okay, these are that necessary dependent files that we need to send it as a context to generate a proper unit test. So that's
That
why
is
the
true.
limitations I am facing right now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that is true. That's true. So yeah, that's very good question. And that, thanks for sharing the question.
thanks.
So any more questions?
Hi Rahul, Sagar here. I have one question as a part of this course, would you be actually teaching us the actual production grade codes for right since like we have evaluation of the models, we have metrics, we have different fine tuning and the deployment. So would you be going through all those scenarios actually how we going to deploy our production grade Gen AI projects?
Yeah. So yeah, at the end of the session, right? So at the end of the entire session. Okay. Not in the middle, but I will teach you at the end.
Now, quick question. Last one from my side. So, how is the like a job market with the generative AI, and also will we provide some documentation to help with like interview type of scenario if we because this is a new field for most of the people. That's why we are doing it to help if after the class finish. Thanks.
Yeah. So I will let you know which kind of roles are there for generative AI. So there are the job market is huge for the generative AI. It's not like a simple one. Generative AI is a simple word, but the job market is very huge. And so it might seems to be like integrating something with something, but it's not like that. It's a there are a lot of jobs will be available for the generative AI. So, for example, if any project you are doing in 6 months with some 6 to 10 people who are developing that, if you are able to do it in some 15 to 20 days, so companies are looking for that kind of people, right? Who can do it. A single person can do it within 15 to 20 days of your worth of 6 months. So yeah, it is definitely there will be job market will be there, but jobs will differ from company to company, right? For example, if you are applying for any Microsoft, so they will have different kind of job role compared to any runway analyst. So they are working on images. Those are also generative AI company only, but they are working on images. If you are looking for any like open AI kind of thing, they are looking for the people who have chart kind of uh, open AI models. If you are looking for any company which is like DMart or some sales related companies, some Kellogg's or something, they are looking for the people who can work on sales data, right? So the jobs will differ from company to company, but the role is same, generative AI role. So yeah, definitely there will be job market. Um, did I answer your question?
So, Rahul, normally when we deploy this Gen AI project, so it is in on what basis? Like we deploy the LLM model into like cloud, or is it into API or microservice? What is the exact way we deploy?
So
for
here in this,
conversation.
so in this,
Uh,
yeah, in this uh, session, right? So we are planning to deploy as an API,
okay. So, but
and
generally, what all? Uh,
yeah. So we will also give you an example with a small Streamlit application, which is a website. So I don't want to focus more on front end, right? So I just give you an example of a front end model, Streamlit, a small Streamlit, and I will let you know how to use that. And as
yeah.
like previously someone asked, right, how to cache it. You can cache in Streamlit also. I will show you that.
Okay. So actually, I'm looking how relevant this course would be for me because I've created couple of LLM bots already. So which has Gemini, Llama using OpenAI, all these things. I've done it, but I want to learn more on evaluation, fine tuning, removing hallucinations, and deployment. So would this course help me on that at the end? Like
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
saying,
it
we'll
will
go
help you.
through deployments.
Yeah, but yeah,
Okay.
it will help you definitely. But I just want to make sure, at the starting, so the people they don't know anything about the LLMs and all, right? So I need to keep that also in my mind.
Right.
So I need to teach
Right.
people at the starting. So it might be something like I already know this, so I am listening to this. But there are different people are there, right? So they have to know everything in a basic way. So at the starting, I will teach
Right.
everything,
Right.
but at the end, I will explain you that. So yeah, I hope you get what I'm saying, right?
Got it. Got it.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you.